Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Thanks so much for being here today with me. Hope that you're doing great. I hope wherever you are, you're feeling strong and healthy and ready for a brand new day. I am starting my day as I always do with a cup of tea, and I've got a really cool one today for you. I was traveling recently in Norway and I went into a little shop to find some tea. I always try to do that when I'm traveling, and I picked up one. It's a Swedish tea and it's called Super Tea, which sounded pretty good to me. It's got turmeric and cinnamon and ginger and some really lovely spices, but it's got one in there I did not know about, called Gotu Kola. Gotu Kola, apparently, I checked online, is a plant that grows in Asia. It's been known for years to stimulate mental cognitive improvement, and it is a longevity plant. I didn't know that when I picked up this little orange tea bag and brought it home. But anyway, it's a nice tea. I taste mostly for me the turmeric, but it's nice and yellow, and I've got it in my lovely mug that I adore. Anyway, tea is a ritual for me. I'm sure you've got your own self-love rituals that you have, and just makes me feel good, makes me feel ready for the day. So just to tell you too that our sponsor for today's show is International Living. International Living really helps people who are thinking to retire abroad, whether you want to go to Thailand or Panama or Portugal, wherever you're thinking. They have people there on the ground who write reports on what's going on in those countries and whether it ticks all the boxes for you. So if you check out their site, internationalliving.com, and then /60andme, they will send you a copy of their Global Retirement Index, which is a list of, I think, 25 retirement havens where you can learn more about what it's like to live there. So thanks to International Living. Now, the topic today, though, goes back to health and well-being. And I want to start off by saying that none of this is medical advice. I'm not a doctor or I have no medical background, but I read a lot. And we have a great blogger. Her name's Julie Dargan, and Julie does have those qualifications. But I want to just say that everything we chat about here on 60 and Me related to health and well-being, check with your doctor first. And always do your own research, because what Julie talks about here is really some of the challenges that face us as we get a little older. And so she gives some really good advice, mostly from foods that we can eat to help us stay strong and vibrant and, and just well in our 60s and even earlier. So she talks about, first of all, most women in their 50s are going through menopause or have gone through menopause. And so they're starting the chemistry of their body is starting to change. There's, as a result of reductions in estrogen and other hormones, our bones are more at risk. We are, of course, often dealing with hot flushes and sweats, and just the chemistry of our body changes. We have to start to think about managing our blood sugar and also our weight. This is some interesting thing. And she actually mentions a very interesting thing about weight in a minute. And I'm going to mention it to you because I've been, like many of you, struggling with weight gain and trying to figure out how to deal with it. And she raises a very interesting point that I think you'll find interesting. So the first thing that Julie talks about in her article, which, by the way, you can read all this on our website, 60andme.com, and I'll leave the link for you, that things like calcium are really important as we get a little older, because the reduction in estrogen gives us this kind of bone protective quality, like it doesn't help us, so our bones are more exposed. So she advises eating things like milk, yogurt. Yeah, milk's an interesting one. Milk, yogurt, bony fish, like thin fish like salmon, which I love, and I'm so happy that I've made that a habit in my life for the last 10 years. I really love salmon, and those are some of the things you can take that will help you get that calcium into your body. And of course, you can get supplements that help, and you just have to be careful of the mixture of calcium and other things. But anyway, calcium is a really important thing for you as you get into your 50s and 60s. She talks about exercise too. It says, even though we maybe turn our nose up at exercise and don't want to do it, I've done enough, you really do have to think about it seriously. And if you do some cardio and exercise that involves weights, even just picking up some cans of soup and, just getting your body moving is super, super important. And if you don't like to do cardio or gym kind of based exercise, walking is good for you. And also water aerobics. Actually, it's interesting. I went to the gym myself a few weeks ago, and there were lots of women signing up for, older women, signing up for water aerobics. So I think that's an interesting option. Another thing she says, though, and I think this is super important, is don't beat yourself up here. Don't make it hard on yourself. If you haven't exercised in several years, like me, really, you have to go slow. And don't just jump into the, to the machines and start to work out with that enthusiasm of, starting something positive for you, and end up having problems with pain and not stretching enough and hurting yourself. So be careful. Another thing she says is to eat a diet high in good fats. Remember the days like 20 years ago when low fat was the whole thing, to eat low-fat food, you'd lose weight and so on. Well, now the research really shows that you do need, especially as you get older, these really high-fat foods. And I mean good fats, like avocado and things that are positive for you. Butter even is good for you, better than some of the low-fat solutions. And also drink lots and lots and lots of water. Now, I wouldn't go crazy like they say you have to drink, 2 gallons or something, but 2 liters a day is what Julie says. And just keep a bottle or a glass of water by your desk. Make sure that it's accessible and handy. It's there for you. Another thing that she talks about, which I totally get, is the morning aches and pains. Oh, goodness me. I used to remember getting out of bed, jumping out of bed and lots of energy. And now I get out like a little stiff. It's like, what? And it's just stiff morning aches and pains. And, this can make you prone to accidents. You can jump out of bed, or you can just be walking somewhere and get a pain and have a small accident or fall. Balance is super, super important. And these are, again, things you can do with exercise more than foods. But you need healthy fats, however, to lubricate your joints. This is important. You need to keep your mind focused. You need healthy cholesterol levels, and you need to look at your blood pressure as you get a little older. And these are things that can be helped by, a good diet. Omega-3, 6 and 12, I think it is, 9 fats that are found in things like hemp seed and flax and avocado I mentioned, and salmon. These are foods that give you those high omega-3, 6 and 9 acids that are good for your body. Also, full-fat Greek yogurt, thank goodness, is on the list. I love it. I love Greek yogurt. And that's very good for you too. And then again, we're giving food suggestions. You probably can think of lots more, and we'd love your feedback too. But another thing that's important is to eat foods or to take supplements with magnesium. Magnesium is an interesting vitamin. I started taking it recently myself, and it's found in leafy greens and also in dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. But yeah, the leafy greens are important, like kale and or certain cabbages and all kinds of, spinach is really good for you, but I like broccoli. That's my favorite, but I'm not sure that's a magnesium rich one, but something to think about, magnesium. Final thing that Julie talks about, which is super important, and that's muscle loss. This happens as you get older, and it's not just the cosmetic, flabby arms. It's the actual, mass strength, the muscle mass strength. And this is that point I was telling you about with weight gain. And I'm going to read this to make sure I say it exactly right. But a decrease in muscle mass, a decrease in muscle mass is accompanied by a progressive increase in fat mass. So if you wonder why your body is gaining more weight, that's because you're losing muscle. And that's really important. So that when I read that, it was like, wow, of course that's what's happening. And a lot of women in their 50s and 60s start to take on a whole new body shape. You get this around the waist, and you get wide hips, and that fat mass is increased because you are decreasing your muscle mass. So really important. And along with that, your bone density decreases. So all these things mean that good foods, some of the ones that we've mentioned, plus exercise are super important. Now, in terms of muscle mass, you can, of course, do exercise. You can do weights, some cardio, low impact cardio. And also, Julie reminds us not to take on a running career unless you really, take it very, very easy. It's better to walk. walk briskly and fast, that can help you to build your muscle mass too. So walking, and for your bones, is better for your bones to have low impact exercise. And of course, if you've been exercising all your life and you're very strong, just run away and do it. But this is the average person, and I think that some really, really good advice here. Hope you found it useful. I'm actually really conscious of this muscle mass and body gain, fat gain, and I think that's going to be my one of my focus areas for the new year. So I hope it's something that you're actually focused on and committed to as well. And I'd love to hear your stories. Let's tell us a bit about the changes that your body has gone through in your 50s and 60s and what you're doing to stay strong and healthy. So anyway, love, I hope this has helped and been positive suggestions. Thanks, Julie, for the great information. And of course, I remind you all to keep tuning in to 60 and Me. We do videos like this all the time and different topics of interest to women in their 60s and younger and older. And please join us on our website, 60andme.com. Also, we have a great, this YouTube channel where you're watching this. We have lots of YouTube comments and articles, and also Twitter and Facebook. So thank you again for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and tell us what you're doing to stay healthy in your 60s. So take care, everybody. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.